DNVR Broncos live, coming to you from the DNVR Bar on the corner of Colfax and York, where there is a very loud machine outside.
What are they doing?
I don't know. Machining
It
up.
They cut a hole in the ground, and I see a big pile of dirt, and this big truck thing has some sort of vacuum hose coming out of it. So it kind of looks like they're sucking dirt out of a hole they made in the road.
Sucking dirt out of the earth.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know what
I've
the
been
point
telling
of that
Lakers
could be.
fans to do that for weeks.
But when does this vitriol turn to the Celtics or the Heat?
Once we know who it is.
Okay. I was thinking you might say never.
Well,
it's just going to stay on the Lakers.
I'm not going to. No, I will move on from the Lakers.
Okay.
I'm also not going to hate the opponent
As
nearly
much.
That's
as
the
much.
thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird because it's probably going to be a Heat. Jimmy Butler is probably my favorite non-Nugget in the league. The Heat, like, I've just been betting on them all playoffs. Like, I haven't missed a game just because they're so fun.
Yeah.
But I know that by June 1st,
Are you going to be
I don't
taking?
know.
Are you going to be taking the Heat in that series because of the juice?
No.
Okay.
No,
okay.
no.
Had to ask. Did you guys? Speaking of, you said you think it's going to be the Heat. You know, being down 0-3 would say it's absolutely, or being
Yep.
up 3-0 says it's absolutely going to be the Heat. DraftKings, though, before yesterday's game, the Celtics were plus 700 to win the series.
Which is crazy.
Now they're
Yeah.
plus 210.
Yep.
After winning one game, their only game of the series, they've dropped plus 500 points.
Yeah. Everything is so backwards in that series. Like, you should be thinking, like, oh, man, now the Celtics get to go home, but the Celtics suck ass at home,
Right.
and the Heat
Yeah.
are awesome on the road.
yep.
It's so true.
That's and like, there's gonna be all this pressure on them, and they're probably just gonna choke
On the Celtics?
And yeah,
That would be the best thing for the Nuggets.
yeah,
Probably.
yeah. I mean, I don't even want to talk about it. Like, you can't have a comeback.
You can't have a comeback?
Like, that would be bad. That would be the worst case.
Oh,
scenario.
for the Nuggets is if the Celtics come back and win 4 straight. Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's not even, I don't know. To me, it's just because that means they'd be playing so well.
Exactly.
Whereas so far, like,
Won
they
4
just.
in a row.
Right.
Exactly. They just look
right.
so soft right now that, like, play the Celtics, sure. Like,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
rather play them than play the Lakers again, which is a crazy thing to say. But, like, that is just such a soft basketball team. But they can't be that soft if they win 4 games in a
I know.
row.
Right.
What?
That's a good
It's
point.
not gonna happen. Anyways, the Denver Broncos have some things going on with them.
Yeah.
The Denver Broncos do have some things going on with them, and I got to tell you what, guys, we were all over it. So 10 minutes before the Broncos, or 10 minutes before our show started yesterday, the news broke that the Broncos released Brandon McManus. We came on this show and said that Bill Nye, the kicker guy, will be the Broncos' next. No, we said Brett Maher
He
will
went from
be.
Brett Maher to Bill Maher again.
To Bill
But then
Nye.
decided again. Wow.
We said that Brett Maher is going to be the Broncos' next kicker.
That was a hell of a save by
most
Zach, though.
likely. Thank
So-
you. That was intentional, by the way.
If Bill Nye was the Cowboys kicker last playoffs,
Yeah.
so that first game, they go 1 for 5 on extra points. Can Bill Nye match that number?
He can match it. I
No.
don't think he can go over.
You don't think he could have
I
gone
think-
1 for 5 in that game?
Do you
Wait.
remember seeing Peggy do the kickoff at the Buffs spring game?
Peggy, for those who don't know, is a 107-year-old woman.
Something like that.
Wait, when did she do this? Was it recent?
The spring game.
Oh, the spring game
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah, she did the kickoff. Honestly, smashed that thing like 4 yards. That's what it would look like if Bill Nye tried to kick a field
How
goal.
old is Bill Nye?
I mean, he was
60?
old when we were children.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
But he's not.
I
that
guarantee
old.
you he's well, let me think. What did he look like when I was like a kid, and how old were those videos?
I guess if there's like a full team around him trying to block it
Can
and
you,
stuff.
you guys
yeah.
want to give me guesses real quick?
Yes.
I'll go 67.
I'll go 65.
Oh my God, he is absolutely over the age of 70, but I only have to guess 68.
It probably is.
Zach got it right on the dot. It's
Let's
60.
go,
Yeah.
baby! Woohoo! I knew my Bill Nye stuff.
Wow, that's. I need to look this up. How old was he when we were kids?
Dude, he's
People's
old,
hair used to turn gray when they were young.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has old man
Wait,
syndrome.
used to? That was like a thing back
Like
in the day?
more so.
Okay, so if I
Oh.
was gonna like do the math, I would have said, all right, he was at least 50 in the videos that we were watching. Those
were-
had been around for at least 10 years, so then he was 60. Now, we've been around for 20 more years. Got to be 80.
I can look that
Wow.
up for you real quick. I can tell you how old he was when he started.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I mean, we can. If he's 67 now, we can
I
kinda
even
figure
like
it out.
saw him speak when I was in college. He like did a speech at CU, and I went to it. And even then, I was like, "Man, he's coming to the end of the run here."
Wow.
He's still kicking for a long time.
When did you graduate?
Yeah, Brian's aging himself. maybe.
2015.
So 8 years ago. So you would have been 59.
That's crazy. Also, I hope my mom isn't watching this.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Actually, Bill Nye, thinking about it, what does he do? He makes things like explode and kind of go far. Isn't that what you want from a kicker? That's some explosion.
Well, usually use your foot, not chemicals, but I see the
That's-
similarity.
Maybe he could make the chemicals in his leg work.
How old do you think he was when he made those videos, when he started being Bill Nye the Science Guy?
I mean, that was like early
30.
90s.
Yeah, I was thinking he was like 50 at that time.
So I'd
He
say
was- what do you think?
35. Maybe not
I mean,
38.
I now know that he was.
Right,
50.
right, right.
It's a math
He
question
was
now.
exactly 37 years old when he started doing it in 93.
Damn. I was thinking 37.
Man,
I
maybe
rounded.
I've just kind of like changed in my. I need to see one of those videos to see what he really looked like. Because in my head, I'm thinking about him and he like looks old and wrinkly.
20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks old and wrinkly, just with brown hair.
Just
Okay.
with brown hair.
Yeah, he was adorable.
Oh, see, he looks
He
young.
does look young there. Yeah.
If you showed me that picture before we did this whole thing, I feel like I could have gotten closer. with like,
I mean, he is. There's a lot. I don't even know what it is. He has a bony face.
Yeah, he's
bony
skinny.
face.
He's
The
a skinny
skinniness
dude.
aged him a little bit. Over.
That's
right.
true. That's true. Okay, so we said that Brett Maher
Wow.
was going to be
This
the
is all your
Broncos'
fault.
next kicker. Then what happens? The Broncos are bringing in Brett Maher, excuse me, for a tryout today, and I still very much think that he's the front runner. But Mike Klisch reported today that the Broncos are also bringing in Parker White.
don't like guys that I haven't heard of.
I was gonna say, tell me something about him. I couldn't have.
I couldn't
I would
either.
go on a limb and say his skin color matches his last name.
I would think that you're
Hey,
right.
nailed it.
But I didn't know that.
Actually,
Oh yeah, no.
No. I looked at that picture first. No.
Yeah, here.
He
We'd need to go through the family tree to
Okay.
get like a full
Yeah,
diagnosis
it's-
here, but
it's
like
true.
it's not. Yeah.
But he went to the University of
Not what
South
you're thinking.
Carolina. That was the last time that
I
he
wanna see what I'm
was
talking about.
kicking.
now I'm just intrigued.
Because I think maybe like some part Filipino or like
Yeah.
but also
Yeah.
somewhat. I don't know.
Let's see where he was born.
He's definitely not 100% white.
I'd rather speculate. So let's see.
You'd rather speculate? I'd rather not
Let's
speculate.
definitely
on
not do
this.
that. I already fucked up. Let's not dig the hole that I created even deeper.
Oh, I think it said it right there. I think he's from South Carolina.
He is. Oh, that's where he's born.
I think that's what ESPN said.
Okay, I just hit the 4 button. There it is.
Birthplace.
Mount Pleasant, South
Yep.
Carolina.
Oh, Pleasant.
That sounds
What a pleasant place. But he
Mount
played at
Pleasant
South
everywhere.
Carolina in
He's 6'5".
2021. He's 6'5".
Bro, modern kickers, crazy.
We're learning a lot of things about Parker White right now. But anyways, he's going to be in there too with
Oh,
Brett
shit.
Maher today. I would expect the Broncos would have a kicker by the end of the day.
They also, so he was with the Packers. They waived him 2 days ago and signed Emmanuel Wilson, who was the running back the Broncos waived, who's like the D2, 5'10", 220 pounds. Like he runs like
How
freaking
about
Zeke
that?
Elliott.
Why didn't they just trade each other?
Not worth the effort.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I was
guess
hyped about
you're
Emmanuel
right.
Wilson.
Okay, so that was just one of the moves the Broncos made yesterday. I guess not even a move, but just something that the Broncos did following bringing in cutting Brandon McManus. Another move they made was they signed nose tackle Tyler Lancaster, who actually has played in 59 games in the NFL with 21 starts.
Yeah. I mean, that's just competition for depth spots. Like, that's one of those things where it's like, if you make the team, you're going to find your way into starting a couple times. You know, I just look at, so we should say this. He started with 4 years with the Packers, signed like a 1-year minimum deal with the Raiders last year, went there for training camp, got hurt before the season, injured, I think waived from the injured reserve
Yep.
list before
Yep.
the season even started.
Exactly.
But in those
Then
last 2 years.
missed all of last year.
Yep.
Was not on the team after waived, I believe, in September.
Yep. And so, like, he does have the starts. So he started 3 games in each of his last 2 seasons that he played. But just for perspective, the Broncos have Jonathan Harris, who had whatever he had going on. He only played in 8 games last year. He started 4 of those. And so, like, defensive line, it's just like, oh, they came out heavy. That means Tyler Lancaster's out there. So he'll compete for a job, obviously. But I almost think it's like any Uwazurike, you want to make this team? Well, look how bad this guy wants to make the team. Like, you better not let him outplay. Like,
no, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
He's a guy that is going to eat up blocks. He has 1.5 career sacks, so he's not bringing much from a pass rush standpoint. He's going to eat up blocks. He's a big guy. The Broncos list him as a nose tackle. He's like 310 pounds, so he's not like a 350 pound when you think of a nose tackle. He's like a defensive lineman that's going to play in the center of the line, so a nose tackle. But he is a guy that's competing for a roster spot. I completely agree, but I wouldn't be shocked if he makes the team. But this is a very back end of the potential 53-man roster move, not anything more than that. I agree.
Doing a lot of research on Parker White over here.
What are we finding? You digging deep? Ancestry.com on Parker White?
No featured stories about his racial background?
No.
Really?
Like, this is a picture of his family. It just really throws a wrench in the whole
that
thing.
does throw a wrench
Wow. Is that the facial hair?
I don't know.
I don't know what it... Yeah.
I'll keep working on this, guys.
Thank you. But the Broncos would save, like, it depends on what the exact number is, but probably like $2.6 million maybe if they chose Lancaster over Mike Purcell. So there's that factor. But also they'd save even more if they pick PJ Mustafa, the undrafted free agent at Penn State instead. Or, I mentioned Jonathan Harris. There's another guy where it's like, those two probably should be on around the same level. Jordan Jackson last year, Elijah Garcia. Like, there's just so many of those guys competing.
Exactly. Another move that the Broncos... Whoa.
I'm ready to make a declaration.
Okay.
Oh.
I was right.
You were right. Okay.
Yeah. Congratulations to me.
Congratulations. Good call. Good call.
Parker
It was a
White
windy road to get there.
Yeah, it really was. Up and down, and Ryan hasn't even been listening to our great talk about Tyler Lancaster.
No Tyler Lancaster
that?
takes?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're moving on from Tyler Lancaster right now.
Dang, I thought we were still on Parker White. I'm kind of in on Parker White just for what it's worth. Just read a story about him.
Wow.
He had like 7 game-winning field goals in college.
Clutch.
Yeah.
6'5". He was a captain.
Wow. So you're in on him, out on Brett Maher?
Yeah.
Is that how I say it now?
Maher, I just met her.
Oh.
Wow.
I do. I mean,
Because someone in the comment section said it was Maher?
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
Mar?
Yeah, people always say Maher, and it's like, I just kind of push it
Maher.
together because that sounds silly. But,
Wait, I don't get the I just met her. Just because it rhymes? Is that a rhyme?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
the her.
Right.
I don't know what words would make more sense. Feeder.
Well, we talked about rhymes at the
Feeder,
end
I
of the show
hardly know.
yesterday.
Yeah. Hey, look. The other thing about Maher, I do really like that they're just giving him a tryout because if there's one thing we know about him, it's that he can kind of get in his head in some pressure situations and saying, hey, we have a contract for you if you can make these kicks. I make him go through some real pressure like that before you give him a job.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a good way to simulate it.
And like, so he's played 4 NFL seasons. He hasn't been consistent. Like his 2 most recent seasons by field goal percentage would have been Brandon McManus's 2 best.
Yeah, I mean,
field
tremendous
goal
seasons.
The one before that would have been Brandon McManus's worst season.
Yep.
So there's just that variability there, and the fact that he didn't get a job for forever is a little bit concerning. The fact that he missed a third of his kicks one of the years he did have a job is concerning. The fact he missed 4 extra points in 1 playoff game and then another one the next week is concerning.
He in the past 2 years, he's had 1 terrible game. Awful game. You look around, kickers miss 1 to 2 extra points every single year. Pretty much every single kicker, maybe outside of Justin Tucker, and maybe he even misses 1 a season. But Brandon McManus missed a couple of extra points last year. So missing 1 in a game, not a playoff game, it stinks. But like that second game wasn't bad. What made it so bad was that he had missed 4 straight in the game before. So he had 1 awful game over the past 2 seasons. I'm okay with that. In fact, he was one of the best kickers in the NFL the past 2 seasons. That's why I'm down for him.
And he was 1 for 6 in the playoff run.
Yeah.
Like that is, again, like, could Bill Nye do that? If the old rules were kicking,
He's 67
snapping
now.
from the 2.
67.
67-year-old Bill Nye. No.
The thing,
No.
if he's just on a tee with no one else around him, I think he can get 1 for 6.
If you gave him like a half hour to like figure things out a bit, yeah.
I don't think any average 67-year-old can hit a how long's the field goal?
We're not talking about average. We're talking about Bill freaking Nye.
I know
Yeah, it's
he's
true.
even probably weaker than the average.
Oh no. I disagree. That guy
I've-
looks like he runs every day.
I've trust in Bill Nye. Got
I will
confidence
say,
in him.
like, I have confidence in him to understand the angles and stuff
That's
that
true.
he would
It's
need
very
to hit the
launch
ball at.
points and everything. Yeah, it's the wind. He would know where that's coming from.
All right, barometric
Yeah,
pressure.
exactly. Yeah, he's pretty geared up for this.
Yeah.
Okay, but the last move.
Wait, one more thing.
Okay.
Maher also in that bad season, he was like 1 for 5 from 40 to 49 yards. Just like imagine what that would feel like to live through. Like
Again, 3 years ago, though.
Definitely,
What he's done
definitely.
since then. He's
2 good years.
This isn't ideal to be having to pick up a kicker
Definitely.
in May. I think he's a great option that's out there. The best kicker in the app? No, certainly not. There's a reason he's still out there.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, did he bomb his workout or something?
For
Why wasn't he hired
for
yesterday?
other teams? It's today.
Oh,
The
okay,
workout's
okay,
today.
okay,
It was
okay.
announced yesterday. The
So
workout's
double
today.
workout.
Yep.
Can
Maybe
we get
it
a
could-
live stream of this?
It could be
I know,
even more.
right?
They could be bringing even more kickers too.
How many
Yeah.
concurrent lives could the Broncos get if they live streamed this kicker workout today?
Probably 5.
I'd log in on all my devices,
Wow. So 6 then.
stagger them so you can rewatch.
5 people?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see this. Kickers.
I think
kickers
they
are
would
very
do
important.
more than any of their press conferences other than like the hiring of someone.
I mean, it really would be. It would be entertaining because it's people's jobs on the
Yeah.
line, which everyone loves.
Yeah.
It's also very
High
black.
stakes,
it's
money
It's also
on-
very black or white, so everyone
Yeah.
can understand. It's
Yes.
not like you have to see an offensive lineman do a set against air and be like, that guy's is better than that guy's, and everyone can agree on it. No. Did it go through the 2 yellow poles or not?
We could actually like restream their stream and do a watch along.
Watch along.
I would
that'd
love
be
that.
fun.
I would do that.
That'd be fun. I'd be team Brett.
We need more of this type of media.
Well, we're moving in the complete opposite direction with
we
Sean
are.
Payton as the head coach.
That's true.
So
What if Sean Payton though wanted to add to the pressure?
That's true.
And then he showed him like the YouTube live numbers right before the kick.
He's like,
Hey,
damn,
man.
bro, user John 1047365 is roasting you in the comments right now.
or he even just like reaches out to his buddies at Fox. Just like, hey, want to put this on Fox Sports? Put this FS1. We're kicker competition.
Maybe they'd reach out to us. We'd gladly put it on.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, one other move
The big one.
that the Broncos made, a big one that I was proved right in, and Henry was proved wrong in.
Wow.
The Broncos.
Henry is the Cam Fleming guy.
The Broncos re-signed
did we do
Cam
something?
Fleming. 1 year. Here's why I'm right. $4 million. How much did the Broncos say with Brandon McManus?
3.75.
3.75, and they not only spent that yesterday, they spent more than that.
No,
on
you got to
Cam
compare to the
Fleming.
kicker.
Huh? No,
It's a
we were just
kicker to
talking
kicker.
about how much money they saved. They were
Oh.
going to use more of that.
Well, no,
and,
you need to-
and they did that on Cam
All I was
Fleming.
talking about was kickers. Was what kicker
I don't
can you
think
get
they
with
would-
that money?
I don't think that was ever thrown out there.
I don't think they said, oh, well, let's cut Brandon McManus to save money to
I'm
go
pr-
get Cam Fleming.
I'm pretty sure
because they still
Zach's-
need a kicker.
2.5 mil.
I got to defend Zach here. I'm pretty sure his entire point was they're getting this money to spend it.
Yeah, exactly.
That was his whole point.
Yeah, wasn't about
But
kickers.
they still need to sign a kicker.
They do.
They're gonna do that today.
Well, if you had asked me, are they going to spend more money on more free agents? I would have said absolutely.
Just the fact that they did it 6 hours later made me feel so good. Sean's just waiting there.
Really?
Where's the money? There's the money. Let's spend it.
Yeah.
It made
Is that
me
how that
feel
works?
really, really, really good because Cam Fleming is awesome. Like,
Yeah,
he
you
is
love Cam
incredible.
Fleming.
I wrote this yesterday, but I mean, like, if I had a vote for offensive line MVP last year, which I don't because it's not a real thing, it would have been Cam Fleming. Like the fact that he was on the field as much as he was and has a case for most productive when he was on the field, like, getting him as your swing tackle, it just... I think he's one of the 3 or 4 best swing tackles in the NFL.
So I agree with what Henry said about how good Cam Fleming was last year. I think that Cam Fleming bringing him back is really, really good quality depth at offensive tackle. I really like the move, but there's some massive inconsistencies with what Henry's saying right now. He's trying to hold Brett Maher's 3 years ago against him while not giving him credit for these past 2 years. Cam Fleming was great last year. I'm giving him all the credit for that.
He was
Cam
terrible
Fleming has
2 years
been
ago.
really bad before that, and he did have a really good year last year. But so
Yeah.
my issue isn't with Cam Fleming; it's with your argument on these two guys.
Okay, two things. First of all, very different positions. Like such a small sample size thing with kicking where the things can waver so much. Like he misses 2 more kicks, makes 2 more kicks, whatever, the numbers swing. Also, I would say he had a bad year last year. He had a very bad year last year. When it finishes the way it did in the playoffs, that tanks the whole thing. You can't call that a good year.
It's a good regular season.
Yeah, it was a good regular season.
It was a great regular season, actually.
Yeah.
Was he like the number 2 kicker or something in terms of percentages?
He was right up there.
Yeah.
But when you go 1 for 6 on extra points in the playoffs,
In the biggest game.
I'm not calling that a good year. Like kickers, it's the same thing with
He didn't cost his team, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
When they went 1 for 6, when
Yeah.
he went 1 for 5, they won the game.
I mean, that doesn't matter.
yeah, it's one of those things
He
where
didn't
it's just
help
like
them win, that's for sure.
you just can't have that. Like it's again, the margins are so slim for kickers. You are
Again, one bad game in the past 2 years, and you're just going to give Cam Fleming this incredible pass for like a bad career with a great year last
I
year.
love comparing kickers and offensive
it doesn't
linemen.
make sense. But yeah, I mean Cam Fleming though. I went back a couple days ago. When was that? Doesn't matter. Sunday night, Saturday night. Just went and rewatched that first game from last year. Actually, I was super hyped because NFL Plus. I was just gonna rewatch the Manning cast because we didn't get to watch it, and I haven't gone back and watched it. But then the dumbass NFL can't figure out how to upload videos that work, and so there's just no way to get that started. So I settled for just the normal version, but that's not the point. The point is, you go back, and from the first snap, you're just like, holy shit, look at Cam Fleming go. Like he's just flying out in space and cleaning guys up and setting up 10-yard runs. And that reminded me, like when I wrote the game grades from week 1, I think the headline was something like Cam Fleming shines as the Broncos fall. Like he was the headliner of that game. And there are obviously flaws. Like he gave up the most sacks on the team. But again, like
We're just overlook.
Do you
we're
want
gonna
him as a
hold
backup
extra
tackle?
points? No. He's not talking about him as a backup tackle right now. I think
let-
he's a great quality.
He said he thinks he's one of the best swing tackles in the league.
yeah. Yeah. But he gave up the most tackles because he started 15 games and a lot of them at left tackle where like that's just going to happen. And there are other guys right by. It's not like it was like, oh, look at Cam Fleming way up there.
I mean, this is incredible.
It's not incredible.
I don't-
it's just
yeah,
the
I
truth
don't-
of what Cam
think,
Fleming is.
I think the extent is Cam Fleming is a good depth piece for the Broncos.
he's incredible.
They
depth
are.
piece.
See, we're taking it kind of far.
I don't know. I
He's one of the
think
best
he can be
swing tackles,
an incredible
yeah.
depth piece and not be a good starter.
At $4 million, though, they are paying for it. That they're not like getting a bargain for him. So he is getting paid to be that. And right now, when you look at the Broncos' offensive line, you feel damn good about it. And this is like completely different from how we felt about the Broncos' offensive line in years past at this point, where we're not even comfortable with the starters, let alone the backups. And now I think with Cam Fleming, they have a good backup, 2 good starters at tackle, and then the inside of the interior line is feeling pretty good as well. So I think the Broncos are in a really good spot.
Yeah. I think it's pretty, to me, it's pretty clear that Sean Payton was like, yo, like, why can't we get this Fleming guy? And they're like, we don't have the money. And he was like, well, how do we get the money? And they're like, oh, we could cut Brandon McManus. And he's like, yeah, do that.
And then bada bing, bada boom, Cam Fleming is in the building yesterday afternoon signing the deal.
Getting back to my point though, so he gave up the most sacks on the team, but again, like it's compared to guys who are on pace to give up way more sacks if they played as much as he did. And then you look at like the penalties where he's second in penalties, but it's the same thing. Where it's like Dalton Reisner's in front of him. Well, Dalton Reisner's the other guy who was on the field a bunch the entire season. The people behind him you don't even worry about. Like over the cap, they had him as a $10 million value last year. Like for his
Crazy.
contributions. And that's pretty consistent with like everything else. I think Pro Football Focus had him as like the 6th best offensive Bronco out of the 40 or so who played. Like getting him back it's just massive.
David just said, do Zac and Henry ever agree on anything? I think we agree on things too much, actually.
Really?
And one of the things that we agree on is
I disagree.
Is pins and aces. Is the place to go. Were you rocking pins and aces on the golf course yesterday?
No.
Were you rocking a head cover
There we go.
from Pins and Aces? Yeah, because you messed me up yesterday. Now I'm thinking about it as HC, head coach, head cover.
Henry Chisholm.
Henry Chit. No, I'm not going to think of it that way. I
Just
don't want
imagine
that.
me wrapped around the golf club to
I
keep
don't,
it
I
safe.
don't want that. No.
Oh.
It's a bad.
How'd you play?
88.
Damn.
For no warm-up, not swinging a golf club since
That's really
July.
Did you play
88
yesterday?
solid.
Yeah.
What was it?
78.
Oh, wow. Beat you by 10. If I would have played, probably would have been
True.
68, but wasn't able to make it out.
Honestly,
so-
like, I mean, that was probably like my 5th round of the year.
So you feeling pretty good about it?
I felt okay about it. I played so bad on Sunday that shooting 78 yesterday felt like shooting 59.
Wow.
Is it because you
Wonder
had
what that
the
feels
Buffs head cover
It is.
from Pins and Aces?
And I got this one called like Dancing Flamingos or something.
A head cover?
Yeah. I just love it, man. I get to my bag and I just look at it every time.
It's
I'm
happy.
like, man, that makes me feel good.
And then also you can wear the flamingo shirt to go along with
Yep.
it from Pins and Aces. They have every single design. And wait, I saw that PHNX has their own Pins and Aces shirt.
So does DNVR.
We do?
Yep.
Oh, I saw that yesterday and I was like, man, this is BS. We got to get one.
Maybe it's not ready for public consumption
Oh,
yet.
there we go. So check out that. I mean, we're looking at the head covers
We
now.
are.
They are insane. You can get ones with mustaches, real life mustaches
Yeah.
that like come out of the head covers. So check them out. Use that promo code
people.
DNVR for 15% off over at Pins and Aces. Use that code DNVR.
Just imagine just a mustache. That it's like a
Just
sock
thinking it
around the
just
driver and then
dispenses
just like
I
a
could see it.
mustache.
I could see it. I could see a head cover just being a mustache.
The way you said it, it has mustaches coming out of it. Like, it's just a dispenser. It just dispenses
Maybe
real
it
life
is.
mustache.
Yeah, the real life mustache is what got me. Like,
Yeah.
it's a real life mustache. It's just like
Straight off of a man's face and onto your head cover.
Wow.
That'll cost you extra.
Also, go over to Shady Rays and get some sunglasses. I have to be very careful with mine because I don't do a good job sunscreening my face typically. And that can just lead to issues, obviously, if you're wearing sunglasses. So that's something I've actually been pretty concerned about recently. It's like, I got to lock in, try to, you know.
So when I was a kid, I hated putting on sunscreen so much.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible.
I still hate putting on sunscreen. But now I hate being sunburned more than I hate putting on sunscreen.
Wow.
So dub for my skin health.
Wow.
Because I'll put that sunscreen on all day long to make sure I don't have to deal with the sunburn.
I don't think I've ever been able to put on sunscreen without some point it getting in my eye.
Oh my gosh, you're 4 years old, Henry.
Well,
Yeah,
but
he is.
even like
Oh
yesterday,
my gosh.
yesterday it was like 6 hours later. I'm just like at home on the couch, and I must have like just wiped my eye or something, and there must have still been sunscreen on it. And all of a sudden, I'm like, here we go again. It's like grab the pillow because I'm still all gross too. Just rub it on my face until it.
Oh
So, I
my
don't know.
gosh.
They need to come up with a way for that.
eye
to,
drop.
I
Rinse
don't
it
have
out.
eye drops.
I put on sunscreen every morning on my face. Never get it in my eye.
That's weirder, right?
Never get it in my eye. To put sunscreen on every day, you're supposed to.
Yeah,
That's-
they say you're
really?
supposed to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You didn't
I
know
don't-
that?
I don't like the chemicals.
Oh my goodness.
there's sun every day. You should be wearing sunscreen
Yeah,
every
I
day.
don't know about putting chemicals on yourself every day though.
You got
Interesting
organic
take.
ones.
Let's see what Bill Nye thinks.
Yeah.
Bill Nye's definitely a sunscreen
I
every
would
day
trust
guy.
Bill Nye so much.
Yeah.
If he, even if he just had takes on like football.
Well, you don't
Well, if he
trust him
needed
on
a 30-yard
kicking.
kick, yeah.
you don't trust
Can't-
him on
no,
that.
I trust him to talk about anything.
You trust his brain,
Yes.
not his physical abilities.
Yes. There's no shot he makes it. What is it? 32 yards?
Yeah, now that I think about the length,
Yeah.
I got 1 for 6. I got it.
See,
I don't
That's
think-
with no one else on the field though. If there's like a team rushing him, then yeah, he's not making it.
I don't.
way.
Yeah. I will say, like, the pressure wouldn't get to Bill Nye. Like the physical, like edge rushers coming, they might obviously get there, but like in terms of like the moment, he's just fine. He might even be better.
Look at this. David used the
Potentially.
code DNVR over at Shady Rays a few weeks ago.
And you
let's
should
go.
you should be like David and go to Shady Rays, use the code DNVR because you can get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. So try for yourself. The shades rate 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
All right, shall we get to something that we probably won't agree on?
Oh boy.
The top 25 players under 25 years old. Companies put out these ratings every single year, but the fun thing about this one is it does change because people age out of
Yes.
being under 25 years old, including Joe Burrow. I just thought that he'd be like number 1 on this list because he's a quarterback. He's young. He's 26 years old.
Wow.
So he is not in
Washed.
this. In fact, there are no, in this PFF graphic or ranking that we're going to look at, I don't believe there's any, Trevor Lawrence is the first quarterback at number 18. So, You're giving some eyeballs.
What? He's 18?
So I
He's just
think
not that
we're
good.
gonna be viewing this differently.
Can roller coaster hang.
That is really you
I mean,
love Trevor
but
Lawrence.
he's not
off
like a
last
top
year.
10 quarterback.
But we're talking about under 25 years old. But
Yeah, but there's a lot of really good. They've got like Pro Bowlers in
okay,
there.
so what we're gonna have to decide when we look at their ranking and then when we build our own is, does positional value matter?
Of
Because
course.
right
No,
right
it
before
doesn't.
the show started, you here said positional, of course position, just what you said, Ryan, and Henry said no, it doesn't.
But
so
then the
we've-
rankings just aren't interesting if there's positional value. Because then
Okay,
you're like, oh,
fine.
Trevor Lawrence is up
So then
there.
it's just Madden rating.
Exactly.
What should their
Like, who is
Madden
the
rating be?
best? Not who's the most dominant or who's the most valuable, just who is the best. It's not dumb. It just it makes it interesting.
me,
Otherwise,
it
it's
would
like,
be who-
okay, where's all the quarterbacks?
But you can
Well,
only
there's
be
not
ranked against
apparently
who
not
you
any
go against.
quarterbacks.
yeah.
To me, it's just like which one would you want on your team the most, but that's fine.
But yeah, that's just a different conversation.
So we're gonna view PFFs and also view our own just through Madden rating.
Yeah, I mean, if they have Trevor Lawrence 25, they definitely or 18, they definitely aren't using positional value.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. They might be with this first one though. Micah Parsons, they have as number one. Disagreements?
I think that's insane to not have Justin Jefferson number one.
Oh.
Like you're talking about, I think pretty easily the best receiver in the league. He's putting up numbers that have never been seen before. Like Micah Parsons, really good at football, obviously, but he's not doing anything historic.
Okay,
Like he's
but-
just really
Didn't he
good.
win Defensive Player of the Year already?
He was Rookie of the Year, unless he won Defensive Player of the Year his rookie year. Last year, I believe he was 2 behind Nick Bosa, but was leading for pretty much all the year until like Nick Bosa had a crazy end of the season. But that's exactly where I was going to go. You're talking about how Justin Jefferson, the best receiver in the NFL, there's no doubt about it. Is Justin Jefferson, and again, hard with quarterback being in here, the second best offensive player in the NFL? Again, really tough with quarterback. Micah Parsons is like the second best defensive player in the NFL, and honestly has been his first 2 years. And it's hard not to also just have some sort of positional value in there. Micah Parsons is all over the field, including maybe the most valuable thing on defense, which is rushing the passer.
But also, I mean, Micah Parsons doesn't have a Defensive Player of the Year award. Justin Jefferson
It's literally
does.
number 2.
Yeah, but he doesn't have one. Justin Jefferson does have one.
Have a what?
An Offensive Player of the Year award.
Oh, okay. All right.
But then also, I mean, last year, Micah Parsons 8th in MVP voting. Justin Jefferson's number 5. And again, like, those aren't great landmarks, but it does show, again,
in a ranking,
Micah Parsons has 26.5 sacks in 2 years. That's really good. That's not historic.
if you take out positional value,
incredible.
it should be Justin Jefferson.
He had 1,800 receiving yards last year.
So then, is Micah Parsons 2? Or should we continue to look at the list?
Let's look at the list.
So actually, let's...
Yes, he's 2.
So then Tristan Wirfs, they have at number 3. And now here's where PFF gets into their numbers and stuff. They said that Tristan Wirfs took a little bit of a step back last year, but had a fantastic rookie year. They clearly think he's an elite offensive tackle, which again, if you want to look at value, the positional value is very much up there. It's not a sexy position. It's not something that you can compare and look at Justin Jefferson's numbers and look at anything with Tristan Wirfs' numbers. But this was a guy that was he taken one spot ahead of Jerry Jeudy?
Sounds about right. No, I thought he
He
went
should have
at
been
like
earlier
10.
than that. Yeah.
He would have been 10? Okay.
Yeah.
Was he that same year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But I mean, that's a guy who's insane. Like, to be that young and have 2 All-Pros, like, I guess he doesn't have a case for the best tackle in the league because there is, like, that small group at the top where it's like Trent Williams and who knows who else you even include. And that's why there's a gap. Like, 1 and 2, you're like, yeah, these guys are up there. Tristan Wirfs, to me, deserving of number 3, but I think there's a case to be made
Who's
for
number
a
4?
handful of others.
So let's continue to look and see who's 4, 5, and 6. Number 4, Jamar Chase, another receiver.
Jamar Chase has to be over Tristan Wirfs
Why?
because he's a dominant player.
So you don't
But
think
again,
Tristan
that's
Wirfs is dominant?
That's you're going positional value though.
I don't think I
Is it
am
going
because
off of, like,
offensive
splash
tackle
and
is a higher
highlights and
positional
headlines?
value than wide receiver. Like, to me, Jamar Chase takes over games.
So what are but
But again,
Tristan
like
Wirfs
Tristan Wirfs doesn't have
the
a
ability.
chance. Like he's incapable.
So,
there's just
you
no
are
way.
putting positional value.
So
in
you're
with
saying
that.
like the top 20 receivers would all have to be on top of the top tackle.
Okay, let me put it this way: Jamar Chase is a superstar.
But
And you
again,
don't think Tristan Wirfs is?
he's an offensive lineman. He can't be.
Trent
I mean,
Williams
Trent
is a
Williams, I was about to
superstar.
say. that
Okay,
is
so
superstar
one can
offensive
be
line.
compared to 20 receivers.
Yeah, I mean, your points stand. It just doesn't change my position.
That's fair. What are Jamar Chase's numbers? Just to be able to compare to Justin Jefferson. Because obviously Justin Jefferson's above Jamar Chase, but how far off is Jamar Chase?
2,500 receiving yards over 2 seasons.
And what was Justin Jefferson, 3,300?
Yeah.
Pretty damn big drop off.
48-25 over 3 seasons.
Oh, okay.
So again,
3
like
seasons.
they're not comparable.
So that would be 3,200 though. 3,200
On
yards
average.
in 2 seasons
On
compared to the 2,500.
yeah.
Yeah.
So again, that's
insane.
That's
It's
Justin
insane,
Jefferson.
but
Yeah.
it's also insane what Jamar Chase has done.
And you'd wait. Well, that's the thing though, is you'd say, well, what he's done in the playoffs, that really helps his case. Again, we're talking about Tristan Wirfs, who also won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
We're not
those
talking
kinda
about
cancel
career
out.
accomplishments here.
No, but I mean, you got to talk about something. We were trying to separate these two.
I
Yeah,
don't think-
positional,
I don't
positional
think
value. That's where you use.
I don't think Super Bowls comes into play here unless you're talking about like a quarterback. I don't think that an offensive tackle gets a boost for being
Okay.
a Super Bowl winner.
So Jamar Chase's playoff performances don't matter.
So we're gonna build our
don't
own.
know.
So we're gonna have more conversation for this. 5, cornerback, Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, well, that's where they're wrong.
Okay. 6, center, Creed Humphrey with the Kansas City Chiefs. And then let's get to Pat Surtain at number 7, the second cornerback on this list. And what is he, the 3rd defensive player on this list, I think? Behind Micah Parsons and Sauce Gardner.
Wrong.
Where? Clearly with Sauce above PS2.
Above Sauce and Creed Humphrey is where he should be.
Not Tristan Wirfs?
I just don't know what to do with Tristan Wirfs.
But why Tristan Wirfs, and why do you not know what to do with Tristan Wirfs, but you do know what to do with Creed Humphrey?
Because Tristan Wirfs is a starting Super Bowl winning left tackle. To me, that matters.
That's what Creed Humphrey's is, starting
Yes.
center Super Bowl
That is
winning
true.
tackle.
I'm getting there. I'm
Okay.
getting there. I can't separate the center part of this, but even if I was saying, okay, well, let's just go back to the Madden ratings argument, Pat Surtain should be ranked higher than Creed Humphrey.
Is Creed Humphrey the best center in the NFL?
He was second team All Pro. That must have been Jason Kelsey first.
So he's the second best center in the NFL.
Probably where I'd have him.
That is really damn
Pat
hard to
Surtain.
Where's
discount.
Pat Surtain?
Maybe best cornerback.
Yeah, no, I'm not
Like,
arguing
that's the
about.
thing.
I'm not arguing that Creed Humphrey should be above Pat Surtain.
Yeah.
I just, especially since he's a Chief, we want to discount him a little
No, I'm
bit,
not-
and he's just been. He really has been good.
It's so hard to, like, the position of value thing, like Yaya said, should play tiebreaker in a
Yeah.
lot of these situations. And obviously, corner would be higher than center.
I mean, center would be the lowest on all
even
of
just like
these.
doing all I can to remove that and just think about ratings or whatever, something that's more
Just how good are you?
digestible. Yeah, like Pat Surtain is probably the best corner in the NFL.
See,
It's
to
the-
me, yeah, the real travesty is that Sauce Gardner is ahead of him. He had 1 year where when he wasn't committing penalties that weren't called, he was
Couldn't
outstanding.
have said it better myself.
He was outstanding. But Pat Surtain did have one really bad game. Devontae Adams, the best receiver in the NFL, cooked him. He had another down game. I wouldn't call it a really bad game, but another down game against Carolina. Other than that, he was absolutely tremendous.
Is Wirfs still playing on the right side? Or did they move him? I thought moved
They had
him.
Donovan Smith, but now he was a free agent.
Anyways,
Wasn't he a
doesn't
free
matter.
agent
they
this
might
year?
have flipped him.
Starting tackle. I'm of
Yeah,
the belief
so
that
he was right tackle.
He was before, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, I think they're equally as valuable. I know I'm in the minority there.
That's
but-
the way I look at it is like if you put another center instead of Creed Humphreys, that team still wins the Super Bowl. He
But
doesn't bring in as much
not-
value.
Yeah.
That's position value, though.
That's
Like,
the thing. Like that counts so much when you're talking about the best players.
But that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Like if you were doing that, then these rankings would look totally different. Like
Yeah.
you said, like there's Trevor Lawrence at the top.
Damn, Micah
There's
Parsons
not interesting
would-
rankings that way.
Micah Parsons would be unquestionably the number one if we did positional value here.
If you were starting
outside of quarterbacks,
So-
obviously.
but if you were starting a team today, you'd take Micah Parsons over Trevor Lawrence?
No, I said outside of quarterbacks.
Well, and even then, you got to know what other quarterbacks are available. Like,
yeah. If that's like your one piece,
But I
though,
mean, if you think of all of these teams, take away Creed Humphrey from the Chiefs, probably still win a Super Bowl. Take away Pat Surtain from the Broncos. From what their defense was last year, like, okay, pretty negligible. Jets.
it would not be negligible. They would
would have
a lot worse
gotten
on defense.
torched.
In terms of like a game or two?
I mean, they only won 5.
So that's half.
So no, so
Two would be-
so
yeah.
a game though. I just think Micah
It'd be-
Parsons' impact is just absolutely. He probably makes them an elite defense compared to like average.
What really hurts is that like it's just easy to look at sacks for Micah Parsons. Like you can just
No,
compare him
there's
to others.
There's just
No, but
so
that's-
much more to look at with Micah.
But that's what makes it easy, is you can just look at the sacks. Whereas for a cornerback, all of it is like, oh, I watched all 500 snaps of Pat Surtain and think he's good. Like, there's no stat that you can point to and say this. So it's just impossible to be. If you're a really good edge rusher in your first 3 years versus a really good cornerback in your first 3 years, edge rusher is always going to get rated higher just because you can trust him more. There's something you can point to. There's something tangible.
No, I think the question then, what you're trying to ask is, what has more of an impact on the game, a cornerback or a pass rusher?
Well, that's a different thing.
I think it's pretty much the exact same thing. What we're talking about, two elite players who has more of an impact. I think it's edge rusher, then corner, and then a pretty big drop off. I should say pass rusher, then corner, then a pretty big drop off. I think those are clearly like 1A and 1B, but I would put edge rusher above.
This is a great point from Jose. Would Wirfs be so good without Brady? How many linemen did Brady and Manning get paid for being average? It's a really good point. It's that he plays a dependent position, and he was depending on one of the best ever at getting the ball out quickly and making life easy on the offensive line. Maybe the best ever at getting the ball out quickly. And
To be
making life
fair,
easy on
though,
the
if you're
offensive
trying
line.
to knock offensive linemen down, because you could say that about Creed Humphrey as well, having Patrick Mahomes, an even more dependent position is wide receiver.
Yes.
And does Justin Jefferson have an all-time great with Kirk Cousins? No. Does Justin Jefferson have a guy that's fantastic at producing stats in Kirk Cousins? Yes. And does
Jamar
Chase
yeah.
have an elite quarterback
Which
throwing him the ball?
is a
Yes.
great case for Pat Surtain to be ranked higher, because that's one of the least dependent positions. You're definitely dependent on having a pass rush, having
No,
good
you're right.
players
It's
around
very
you.
independent.
But especially for guys like Pat Surtain, it really just comes down to me versus you, who's better.
Without a doubt.
And he wins almost every time.
Without
And
a doubt.
To defend Tristan Wirfs, he gave up 6 pressures last year,
Yep.
which again, like
Tom Brady, who gets the ball out quicker than anyone?
yes, but
Yes.
6.
Yeah, 6 pressures.
Like it's almost a flawless season.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
shockingly good.
Okay, let's just look at who they have behind Pat Surtain, and
And
then
this is
let's
a tier
build
gap.
our own ranking. So at 8, they have Rashawn Slater, the offensive tackle of the Chargers. 9, they have CeeDee Lamb, of course, taken in Jerry Jeudy's draft. 10, they have Andrew Thomas, the tackle with the Giants. Let's just look at a few more here. You hear at 11. You hear sleeping on the job. At 11, they have Jalen Waddle, receiver for Miami. And at 12, they have Jonathan Taylor, which to me, that's exactly what I thought. I thought, damn, a year ago, he's up there for number 1 or number 2 on
What
this
happened?
list. He got injured last year, played in 11 games, had 1,000 yards from scrimmage, including 860 rushing, 4.5 yards per carry. So injuries, and then just kind of like a good year, not a special year like the year he had before, where he had 1,800 rushing yards.
Yeah. I mean, like Latavius Murray's numbers would actually be pretty comparable, just not on the scale, which is just an interesting way to look
Not
at it.
even. I mean, all you're comparing is 4.5 yards per carry.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to say like one
But-
guy's just as good or like
The point is-
comparable. Very, very, very different.
He definitely lost his dominance
4.4.
last year.
Of course,
Exactly.
yeah, that's what I outlined. But to
Yeah.
say that like Latavius Murray would have that same production,
No,
Over
I'm
the
just saying,
course,
like,
that-
He's just saying that number is relevant because that is also what Latavius Murray did.
exactly. Like, that's
and that's why he had a good season.
Yeah.
he
Exactly.
didn't
That's
have,
probably too much of a drop off for me.
I agree. That's why I would buy his stock if like you're in a fantasy football league or something like that, this is good stock to buy probably.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Shall
Unless too much tread off the tires already.
Well, too much tread and just defenses knowing with Anthony Richardson at quarterback, like, especially as a rookie, let's just stop the run, focus on committing everything to stop the run, and make Richardson beat us one-on-one on the outsides. And if he does, tip of the cap to him instead of getting beat by an 1,800-yard rusher the year before.
Man, daring Anthony Richardson to beat you on the one-on-one coverage on the outside I hope that comes back to bite teams.
As a rookie, though?
Oh, I mean, people are going to do it until he proves that he can,
Yeah.
but man,
And
he has a cannon.
he's
and,
capable.
Yeah.
Just because you can throw the ball far. I mean, that is what Anthony Richardson is right now. He's all the physical traits.
Yep.
And that's about it. Florida last year, he threw 54% completion. I'm not saying he can't turn it around,
yeah.
but Josh Allen needed
that's
3
why
years to boost it.
I'm just saying, like, I'm excited to watch a Colts game, which I don't know the last time I ever said
I
that.
completely
Making some
agree.
Colts bets for sure.
I don't know if I'm making bets, but I'm excited to watch him. I'm rooting for Anthony Richardson. You see the stories that come out about him, just about how he's doing all of these small things off the field that are just great personal characteristics to have. I'm definitely rooting for him.
Yeah.
But week 1, 8 in the box, beat me deep.
I just remembered that Pat Surtain literally ruined Jamar Chase's life for a whole game.
He did.
He's over him for me.
And that will come in to our rankings. Let's get to our rankings, but it's Illegal Pete's Hump Day.
Ooh.
That's how we're celebrating Hump Days now, with Illegal Pete's, because they
Steak and
have
queso.
everything you need. I mean,
Did I tell you guys about my steak and queso experience?
No.
So I've been eating Illegal Pete's so much that I was like, I need to try something new. And I, for the first time, got a steak and queso burrito.
So tell me, is it just steak and queso?
Well, no, it's just like you order a burrito.
Oh, okay.
A nor-
Steak and queso.
Yeah, but like with steak, and then you get queso. I've never done that before. It was, the only word I can really think of to describe it is divine.
I mean, it sounds amazing.
Wow.
That honestly
That means,
sounds like in burrito
from
form,
God.
you're having steak with béarnaise sauce on top,
I guess,
What is
yeah.
Béarnaise?
which is like the best. You don't know what béarnaise is?
Béarnaise.
Béarnaise is the best sauce known to man, I think.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting take.
You don't think so?
I would never pick a sauce that wasn't spicy as the top sauce.
This says Béarnaise sauce is a piquant child of Hollandaise, one of the so-called mother sauces of French cuisine. I still don't really understand.
It's
Hollandaise is
delicious.
fire, too.
They actually serve béarnaise sauce at like every steakhouse.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like probably
Like
the first
steak
option
sauce.
listed
Yes,
on
exactly.
how to get your steak prepared.
Man.
Béarnaise.
I appreciate that.
Oh, I thought you said me.
No, definitely
Yeah,
not.
Yeah, no,
I
not
heard
you.
gay. Hey, with
Montana Mexican food.
I didn't say it's like the food in Mexico.
Just
I said I
that
miss
by
it
itself.
sometimes.
Fair.
It's good.
And
It's what you grew up on.
It is patio season. There's no better patios than our friends over at Illegal Pete's.
True.
Literally every location I can think of off the top of my head. Fantastic patio, and nothing goes better with the patio than an Illegal Pete's Marg or their beer buckets, 16-ounce house beer for $15. You get 5 of them.
Yeah.
That is an incredible deal. They've got so many locations in Denver, and so if you're visiting, you got to check out Illegal Pete's. It's a
Yeah.
must stop on your Denver tour, and then if you live here, it's also just a great spot to hit up every weekend.
So hungry.
And also,
Steak and queso burrito.
I wonder if they have Breckenridge beers there.
They do.
They do. We'll get some there, but also get them here. I guess I might not be here much until the finals start.
Got 8 days?
Yeah.
My body is begging for rest.
I know. But it also kind of
And then
always
I, like,
begs
went
for.
golfing yesterday. I went out to dinner with my buddies afterwards. More drinking. It's like,
dang.
gotta stop
Yeah.
this.
You got plans tonight?
No.
Illegal Pete's?
All plans canceled.
Wow.
Wow.
Rest and relaxation for the next 8 days.
Oh, it's going to be incredible. But yeah, Breckenridge Brewery is also incredible. And right now at the DNVR bar, the Fun Slinger is only $4. I've been putting down a
amazing.
bunch of Fun
Been
Slingers at the
slinging
bar.
fun slingers.
I haven't had anything but a Fun Slinger here since the Summer Shandy deal.
Man loves a deal. Look
Deal.
what he said.
Yeah, I mean it's like half price beer. It's crazy.
Yeah.
$4 for a Fun Slinger. So come drink some Fun Slingers, or if you want to drink something else, you can also go to the beer locator at breckbrew.com and you can pick up whatever beer it is that you want to try. Also, oh sorry, I scrolled down
They
too far
roll
to the
together.
illegal Pete's ad, and I was like, wait, there's a deal there too. No, they're just good beers. So go get Broncos beer. Pretend it's football season.
There you go. Love it. Love Illegal Pete's. Love Breck Brew. And I love the power rankings. They're the top 25 under 25 years old that we're about to put together. Any guys that we missed talking about that PFF missed that just jumped to the top of your head?
No.
Jerry
Not really
Judy's
they
under
missed.
25 years old. Should he have been in that conversation?
Nope.
I mean, I got to see who number 25 is to
I
see.
think Garrett Wilson. No, Chris Olave is 23.
Trevon Diggs,
Yeah, no, he's not there yet.
Exactly.
25. Tariq Woolen, 24. Yeah, Tariq Woolen's a hell of a
What
football
came out
player.
about Tariq Woolen yesterday? I saw a headline and I didn't.
Oh, he had a little procedure this offseason.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Procedures.
I don't think it was big, but we know every procedure that's done now is not big.
Oh, yeah. Until it is.
Exactly. Until it is.
Also, the
yeah.
one name that we didn't really talk about, number 8, Rashawn Slater, like he was insane as a rookie. Like, I think he was an All-Pro as a rookie, and then just didn't even really play last year. So that's why
Good
he's down
injury.
there. Exactly. And so if he had played, he could be up way higher. But that's right to have him down there.
They've had Michael Block on SportsCenter for like 10 straight minutes.
Yeah, they have. And they're giving
Everyone
him,
is milking this.
and they're giving him the
Yeah.
Michael Block treatment of like, hey, can you just record this on your phone? Like, I know the Wi-Fi is probably a little spotty, so you're gonna be cutting in it. They wouldn't have done that with any other player.
Yeah, like Tiger.
Yeah, they would have
Yeah.
had a crew out there. It would have been perfect service. He wouldn't have been having to hold the phone.
They're showing a commercial that he did for his golf course. He's kind of nailing it.
Oh, that's pretty dope. I didn't know that was him. Wow. Wow, he steals someone's wife.
Wow.
Damn. Crazy.
That is too good,
Anyways,
man. Okay, so let's build this. And let's get to a round where Pat Surtain is. So one, and the way we're going to do this, it's 3 people.
Yep.
So majority wins. So are you guys going Jamar Chase? I'm sorry, Justin Jefferson.
Yes, I am.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I can't put up a fight because
you
that's
cannot.
2 against 1
Makes 2 easy.
Yep, 2 is Micah Parsons.
Yep.
Yep.
Tristan Wirfs, according to PFF, was number 3.
This is where, I mean, it just, you could sell me on Wirfs, Chase, Gardner, Humphrey, Surtain. Like that whole tier right there is,
So
it's
I've been,
tricky.
So say them again. Because I agree. 2 years ago, in the only one-on-one battle that Pat Surtain and Jamar Chase had, Jamar Chase caught 1 pass for 5 yards.
You literally put him in a straitjacket.
So based off of that, and because they're pretty equal in terms of like accolades and stuff, to me, it's easy. Pat Surtain. And also, I don't think Jamar Chase is a top 2 or 3 receiver in the NFL right now, where Pat Surtain is.
Yeah.
He's close.
But
Jamar
also-
Chase is. But again,
Okay, so
head-to-head.
so let's look at it. You have obviously Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams. I think is better than Jamar Chase. Look what Devontae Adams just did, going from Aaron Rodgers to Derek Carr / Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
He
no,
still
yeah.
put
He's
up
still
like
there.
incredible.
We don't have to go through it. But the point, for me, it's PS2 here.
And that's where I'm at too, I think.
Well, then there you have it. I do think the way I think of it is, if like the equivalent to me of a Pat Surtain playing receiver, he'd be putting up 1,400 yards. Like that's how good I think Pat Surtain is. Like he's a 1,400 yard receiver if he was that way.
Who was the second leading receiver in the NFL last year? What were those receiving stats? Can you pull up if you have that? Because I think that's where he would be.
Yeah.
And probably Tyreek Hill,
So to
I
me-
think is better than Jamar Chase right now.
I think the receivers in the league right now are way better than the corners, though.
Okay, so look, 1,700 yards for Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Last year is the second, behind 1,800 for Justin Jefferson. Travis Kelce comes in at 3, which is absolutely
top
insane.
2 combined reached Justin Jefferson.
That's nuts.
And what I
isn't it?
say, 1,400. So that'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be like 6th. I think that's right. I think that the best cornerback would be behind the 6 or so best receivers, just based on how the league is structured right now.
The way I'm looking at this is I actually believe this is the tier. I think there's a drop off after this tier. I think that Justin Jefferson, Micah Parsons, Pat Surtain is like the young superstars of this league right now.
I can't get rid of if Surtain's in the tier, I think Sauce has to be in the tier also.
I'm with Henry.
Yeah.
I do think that Sauce.
He doesn't have in my opinion, he doesn't have enough body of work yet.
Well, and that's fair,
Yeah.
but also when you're going off a list of top 25, under 25, you kind of know that there's not going to be much of a sample size.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hold
Right.
only 1 year against a guy when someone else has 3. It's not, or Pat has 2. That's not that big of a difference
Yeah.
for me. And,
Well,
but that's why his Pat is
And the flip side is
number 3
like
for me.
there's the upside, like the fact that he's,
How many
as a
picks
rookie,
did
he was
have
a
last
first team
year?
All Pro.
Yeah, that's
Which was
That has to be the young star tier, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
We could put Sauce here. I'm
Yep.
fine with that.
yep. I think that's where he should be. Man, that is insane.
I have a feeling things aren't going to go quite the same for him next season.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think
mean-
he's just a damn. I think
He's really good. He's still going to be really, really, really good. It's just, I think there was a weird. I don't know.
I
Maybe
remember
he just
thinking-
always gets
we're
better
looking
than
at the
remember-
two
yeah.
best cornerbacks in the NFL right now, and they're both happen to be under 25 years old. I think those are the two right there, not just under 25, but in the entire NFL.
Things move quickly though. Like I think your top 5 cornerbacks from 1 year to the next, you're losing 2 or 3 of them.
I don't think with these guys. I mean, these
Yeah.
aren't third round picks that have kind of come out of nowhere and taken the league by storm. One's the 9th overall pick that was an All-American. The other was the 4th overall pick that was an All-American. Both All-Pros, first team All-Pros, and their first 1 to Sauce and 2 years in the league. These guys aren't going anywhere. They're 23 and 22 and 23 years old. They're here for the next decade.
Yep. I'll say this. I guess this was the point I was trying to make. If Pat Surtain played for the Jets, he would have been the first team All-Pro.
Well, they both were.
Okay.
I mean, these were the first team
If-
All-Pros.
What if Sauce was a Bronco?
Then he would have been a
Sauce-
first team All-Pro.
Sauce? I mean, his nickname, which everyone's
So wait, does
got,
Pat now have 2 All-Pros?
No, 1. He didn't have that his rookie year.
Oh,
He
okay.
had a
I
Pro
thought
Bowl.
he had it. Okay, I had it flipped in my
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he has 2 Pro Bowls and 1 All-Pro. Sauce, he's got the name that's very catchy. I think that
Definitely helps.
He's also wearing the cheese head after beating Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. He's a very different personality than Pat Surtain. Pat
Yeah.
Surtain is like extremely, and you know what? He would be getting all the love, even more love if he was in New York, because he'd be in New York. In Denver, when you're 5-12 and you're a great player, but you're not flashy as a personality, and you play the cornerback position, people aren't going to notice you as much.
I agree completely. And Sauce definitely has the narrative.
Yeah.
He has won the narrative.
Yep.
No one really talks about Pat Surtain.
Right. No.
'Cause he's a Bronco.
At least
And
football
they're bad right
people-
now.
I
but at
think
least
it's even
football
more
people know.
because of the low-key demeanor.
I did see yesterday, and like, oh no, there's like 90% of people I'm willing to throw under the bus, and 10% I'm going to feel really bad if it was one of them who said it. So I'm really hoping this isn't going to go poorly for me. But somebody tweeted out, like, I think it was a story that was how Pat Surtain got his PS2 nickname. I was like, well, wait, you're kidding, right? like it's his initials
what
and
we
his
thought?
numbers. Like, I didn't click. I mean, it has to be. Like, I know where that comes from. It's not tricky at all.
And then you see his necklace, which is the PlayStation controller as well. And you're like, yeah.
What
okay.
a weird,
There you
weird
go.
thing.
Yeah.
That is bizarre. Okay.
Jose says PS2 only has 1 Pro Bowl. He got snubbed in 21.
Yep.
Because Justin was the Broncos lone Pro Bowler. Yeah,
is
you're right.
crazy.
Thank you,
It
Jose.
is.
Well, I tried to make up some disrespect about Pat Surtain a second ago. I'm retroactively using
we
it
go.
on Matt.
Okay,
There
there
we
we go.
Pat Surtain disrespected.
Okay, let's at least round out the top 5 here.
But I'm too wired for the Nuggets right now.
Wow.
Just like everyone
Yeah.
is disrespecting us.
It's true. So let's round out the top 5.
I think this is where you have to go Wirfs, if not like Creed Humphrey. To me, it's the same thing where if it's like, what is the Tristan Wirfs equivalent of a receiver? I think it's more than the 1250 that you're getting
Such
from.
a hilarious
But I mean, that's just the only way you can put it in perspective.
I think it's
I just
Creed.
don't
I think it's
know.
Creed Humphrey because I think he's
Okay.
the second best center. If you want to say Jason
Yeah.
Kelsey's the best, he's the second best center. And we're taking positional value out of this, which is what we've done.
Yep.
The second best center, the second best player at his position, which is also along the offensive line like Tristan Wirfs. I don't think Tristan Wirfs is the second best tackle in the NFL.
True. Is he top 4 though? Because you get 2 starters.
Yeah, you could just
Yeah.
look at right tackle or whatever, and I would say probably not.
He has the All Pros.
I would go Wirfs here.
I would also go Wirfs.
Okay.
But I mean, it's narrow.
That's position value, but okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's just the better player.
What
to
about
me.
just like not positional value, but positional difficulty?
But we didn't. I mean, difficulty. There might be more mentally.
It's just
on a
how good are
center
you?
than-
But I just mean like it's harder to be good at tackle than it is to be good at center.
I'm not worried about that.
But see, now we're talking about positional value.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
is that
It's
positional
way,
value
it's
or is
way
that
more
posi-
difficult
Yes,
to
that's
to
why-
play.
that's
it's
why
way
it's
more
more
difficult to play
valuable.
quarterback. So if we're taking in positional difficulty, then Trevor Lawrence should be in here. You know?
Trevor Lawrence will be in here for me for what it's worth.
Do we want to go through all 10? Or do we just want to do a top 5? I know we got buffs coming up soon, and we have some questions to hit.
All right, let's just keep it 5.
All right, there
Yep.
we go. I like this. I
Yeah,
think
I
that's.
think we did
I
good.
think that's
Honorable
exactly where-
mentions: Creed Humphrey,
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase deserves some love for sure.
Jonathan Taylor.
I might have actually put in Jamar Chase at 5, but
over Tristan Wirfs.
yep.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
There's a case to be made for sure.
And Trevor Lawrence at 18 was way too low.
yeah, way too low.
I just disagree.
So there we go. I like it. You guys let us know in the comment section how bad we messed up, and we'll put it on Twitter and get roasted for it. But I think people will actually be like our top 3. Understand?
Yeah, it'd be hard to make the case to put Pat higher. I think we put him in the highest spot.
Jamar Chase, or I'm sorry, Justin Jefferson. So good. It
Yep.
really is
Yeah.
insane. I see why you guys have him 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's unstoppable.
There's records. Like, again, just the Micah Parsons is really, really good, but I don't know. He's still forgettable to me.
Micah Parsons. Okay, you're going way
No,
too far
I,
there.
I don't think so. I think if they both retired today, only one of them has records that people are going to talk about in 10, 15 years, you know? Micah Parsons still needs like a stamp somewhere.
No, Micah
Really?
Parsons. Micah Parsons has it.
He's
Just
really
like,
good,
I don't
but-
think Pat Surtain needs a stamp.
Have you seen Micah Parsons
think
like
he does.
showing up to NBA games?
Yeah.
For like-
he looks so weird in street clothes.
Well, he's
Like
he's,
his
Yeah.
body shape is so unique.
Oh, I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna say he's just rooting for whatever home team he's at.
Well, that's funny too. But like he's
Yeah.
just quite literally built different.
In a just doesn't look
It
like
just-
a normal human way.
Yeah, it looks strange. And it does you never would notice that on the football field.
He said
He's like his shoulders are so huge and like his legs aren't that long. It's like a weird
Yeah.
that is weird. He's transitioning. He said he's moving to full-time defensive end. So that'll be interesting to see if like he's even better and has 20 sacks or if something that helped him get sacks was being versatile and moving around the field.
Yeah. I mean, when he was coming out in the draft, like people were talking about him as a potential off-ball linebacker, as
Right.
like one of the things that
Yeah.
he could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they do that with him.
I know,
Yeah.
but I just mean, like, especially Broncos fans when they were talking about drafting, is like,
Yeah.
you need to get an off-ball linebacker. Like,
Right.
go get Micah Parsons.
Right, yeah, and he's putting on 20 pounds, so it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe that doesn't work so well, and Pat's above him next year because Pat still has 2 years to be on this list,
Crazy, man.
which is
Yep.
nuts. Okay, let's jump into some comments and questions on the website
By
really
the way,
quick
age should be discussed more in draft conversations.
More.
because of this reason. Like
Just-
you could draft a guy that wasn't even in the top 20 or wasn't even under 25.
Like when you get a guy who's like 20 years old, who's a beast.
Right, it's even more value.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
It only really comes up when guys are old, or like
Right.
Tremaine Edmonds, who was like 19 or
Right.
something.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly add value there.
There's also a case we made, like Jerry Jeudy playing as like such a young player. Maybe somebody a little bit more mature and older might have been helpful early on.
Yeah, but good news for the Broncos is they weren't in a Super Bowl window then.
True.
As we dive into the comment section, Henry is no longer allowed to talk because he has already dove into the comment section himself on his computer. And I actually believe
banned him as
Yahir
well.
banned him.
We had a
Let's
meeting
go.
and we were told this is a good thing. Be like Eric.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool when Eric does it.
Oh, wow.
my goodness.
Damn, was I not in this meeting?
I wasn't
That was
in
like the
meeting
beginning
either.
of football
Being
season.
left out? Damn.
was
I like when
First
Henry
started.
goes in the comments.
Damn, no, Yahir, keep him. Can you ban him permanently?
Yeah, but I
No,
won't.
then
I'll
he'll never
unban
be
him
able
here,
to
yeah.
comment on
I'll-
another DNVR
yeah.
stream.
Oh, well, ban him every time he jumps in ours. Thank you.
Wow.
Okay, we got it, super
I
chat.
used my seniority to override that Zach's decision there.
I use my juniority to back you up.
We're talking right here. Just have the conversation with us. Involve everyone.
But
If you see a question, respond to it.
that's
I
Publish
don't
it so we
think-
can all be involved in it.
No offense, Zuriel. It's not worth talking about. He's okay. To catch everybody up, he said, "Should I be worried when Henry starts making sense to me?" And I just responded, "You're brainwashed." You know, it's a good chat interaction,
Yeah.
not a necessary pod.
But then
interaction.
you weren't paying attention to Ryan and I. I just wanted
Yes,
everyone to
I
be present,
was.
you know?
I don't think you missed anything.
people
I
be
didn't miss
present.
anything at all.
He did miss
I
something.
did forget what you were talking about now, but that would have
See,
happened
and
regardless.
now because you did that, you just threw us off this entire thing.
Or did
That's
you
okay.
throw us off?
We're going to talk
by
to the
caring?
people. We have a super chat from Nathan Goodbreak. Spotify on top. So what's the deal with Dalvin Cook? What do you guys think the chances are that we get him?
The Vikings don't want him anymore. And they're going as far as to do, taking him off of their graphics that are on the website and social media. And I think he's moved before the season.
Who's the backup running back there?
Alexander Madison.
See, and that's the crazy part is that they don't just like take Dalvin Cook off; they replace him with Alexander Madison.
Yep.
Where it's like, oh my goodness, like pick somebody who's not a running back. There's got to be a better football player on your team than Alexander Madison. No, like shade, but that's like a very average type
Yeah.
of player. You don't need it to be a running
They
back.
really believe in Alexander Madison, though.
Yeah, well, and I think it's more so they don't believe in Dalvin Cook. You know, it's the same thing where you hear the NFL doesn't think that Kareem Hunt has his legs anymore.
Yeah.
Like he's lost his step. And there's been some of that same buzz with Dalvin Cook, and that's a thing that happens for running backs, obviously. So
I believe
I'm not surprised.
statistically, too, it was a thing that happened with Dalvin Cook.
the numbers were way down.
And then also you have people in Minnesota reports coming out that they think he's even worse than the number decline said last year. And
Yep.
what's interesting is the Broncos are in that conversation as a team that may be in on Dalvin Cook. And you look at the lack of moves the Broncos have made, it can make sense if pointing to Dalvin.
They're talking about Deshaun Watson on the TV right now. Sorry if this means I'm not present, Zach.
Yeah, that does mean you're not present.
They've been talking about him for like 5 or 6 minutes, and they've just had to show the same 3 highlights from last season in a cycle over and over and over again. Those are like the only good 3 things he did well.
I mean, to be fair, they have his stats at the bottom of the screen: 58% completion, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and 3-3.
yeah,
Not
he was
good.
terrible.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. But Ryan, we're over here.
Okay.
We're over here. Yep.
Cool,
Eyes
cool,
over
cool.
here. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Henry, over here. Eyes up. Not
I
at the
was
screen.
snapping
Thank
over
you.
here, though.
Thank you. Last year, Dalvin Cook, 1,173 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns, 4.4 yards per carry.
It's like Latavius Murray level production.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. It is.
Latavius with volume.
And actually, to be fair, that's about what he's done throughout his career outside of in 2020 when he had a 1,500-yard season with his 16 touchdowns on 5 yards per carry.
What about the yards per carry? Like 4.4 is average for him?
He averages 4.7 in his career. 4.4 is his worst. The year before was 4.7. He has 4.8, 4.6, 4.5, 5, 4.7, and 4.4. So that was the thing that took the dip.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into the comments on the website really quick. First one coming in from our guy. The count says, Cat Hat. We have a locally famous...
I thought that was a rhyme.
It was a
Was.
rhyme. Yeah, he was
Wait.
just starting us off with a rhyme. Cat Hat.
Oh, I thought I said count hat.
It's a classic
Oh,
rhyme.
no, Cat Hat. Yeah, it's yeah. How does
I
he
know.
not pick that up?
Well, because I heard count, and it was because I
Oh,
heard
you know
count
why?
before.
He was looking at it. He was typing to people on the screen.
That was well before.
was.
Ryan saw it
Gosh,
pop
man,
up.
It did.
So bad. Wow.
Anyways, back to the comment.
So bad.
Wow.
Okay, Henry,
Just
we're focusing on the
gaslighting.
count. We have a locally famous type of melon from Dixon, Montana.
Sure
I
do.
used to work at a grocery store and would await their arrival each year. I would then get on the PA about every hour to proclaim in a very slow voice, "Attention, folks! Dixon melons have arrived." That's right. Dixon
Let's go.
Melons. I was not fired from this job, but let's just say my HR file was rather thick. Love the count.
Good
There
comment.
actually are good melons. You guys have your peaches here. We got those melons up there.
I'll take peaches over melons any day.
Try these melons though.
Dixon peaches better than melons.
No, I still haven't tried the peaches here, so I can't speak to it.
I think only Yaya picked that one up. Anyways,
Dixon peaches, yeah, we got it.
But no,
We just didn't.
Dixon,
Only Yaya
they're
thought it
not
was
Dixon
funny.
peaches. They're Dixon melons.
I know.
Okay, never mind. I got it.
I got it too. Let's see if you guys pick up this reference from UW
We just gotta do a
Whitewater
rhyme thing
Bronco.
again.
You
Let's
guys
go.
pick that
That's
up?
Quinn Miner's
There you
spot.
go. I really hate the Brandon McManus move. Kickers regularly have down years, but bounce back frequently. I think it's time back to bring Mason Crosby and Robbie Gould. I think back to the time Mason Crosby and Robbie Gould had a down year.
Yep.
The Bears fell into kicker purgatory by cutting Gould, which cost them a playoff game. Meanwhile, the Packers trusted that Crosby would bounce back and didn't have to worry about their kicking again for years. Gould went on to bounce back as well, just on a different team. If you have even a mediocre kicker, they are worth keeping because they're so hard to come by. I really hope the Broncos find someone quickly because, as a franchise, we've been very fortunate with our kicking situation.
Does anyone know if Mason Crosby that season was getting into Twitter beefs with trolls?
My guess is no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all something part of when we mention culture, those are the things that are in it as well. That Sean's trying to change the culture and things.
Absolutely.
I do think there's a good. If I had to pick a side right now, I'd lean toward the Broncos are going to be worse at kicker. Like if you look at their kicker stats and McManus, wherever he winds up, I think there's a good chance they got worse.
I think if they bring in Brett Maher, Maher, they'll be better.
It's got to be Mar.
Maher, how do they
Man,
know
that's
her?
what I think.
I already did that joke.
Yeah.
I just wanted to confuse Zach
Briz
again.
Baby says, fellas, if we had a punter competition between Matt, Punt God, Areza, and Riley Dixon Goat in training camp, would that call for a punter's scoreboard? What would be on it? Don't think about Dixon's new nickname too hard, LOL. Cheers, Briz Baby.
So weird.
Yeah, that's really bad. Wouldn't have said it if I realized.
Yeah,
it
punt
was
scoreboard
spelled-
would be sick.
Yeah, that would be. It'd be pretty easy to maneuver too.
Yeah. Hang time, length.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
people want Matt to be brought in. They're not going to. They just signed Riley
Jets already
Dixon
did.
to it. Yeah, they brought him in. Yeah. But the Broncos just signed Dixon to a 2-year deal with, this year fully guaranteed.
Yeah, he's your punter.
He is. And this is our last comment from Corey Jones, 1976. So, the Avalanche won a championship last year, and the Nuggets are going to win a championship this year. Screw it. The universe is broken. The Broncos are a lock for the Super Bowl next season. Let's go. What were you doing?
Oh, I dropped something.
What were you doing?
Nothing.
I was seeing if my charger was still back there. I
No,
left
you
it.
weren't. What was he doing?
I
didn't do
see.
shit.
I didn't catch it.
Don't make me pull up the feed right now.
Oh my God. Okay.
This is. Do I need to report Henry to HR for something he just did?
Lucky me. We don't. Do we have that?
Yeah, we do.
Damn.
Well, I
It's
don't
very.
know.
It didn't negotiate though.
It's a negotiating circumstances. Yeah, here, can we get a playback of what just happened? And so, Henry, how would you respond? Henry,
Yeah,
how
I
would,
was doing the Lord's work right now.
Henry,
by the
how would
way.
you respond to that comment?
I would say Bronco fan 1996.
Nope, wrong already. He wasn't
Damn.
paying attention. See? He messes around, doesn't pay attention.
The content was good.
You know
though.
how I would respond? I would say I had maybe the worst dream of my life last night.
No way.
And it wasn't about getting shot at or like any of that sort of stuff. It was Pat Surtain just got torched in week 1.
Oh
like
my
we were
God.
watching and it's like, wait,
Wow.
what if he isn't actually like he just looked totally human? And that's what I would say.
Yeah.
That I don't believe that. So that's
Hopefully
what I
that
would
doesn't
say.
become recurring.
Yeah,
I had
I'm
a
gonna
lot of
touch wood.
conversations with people about recurring dreams after our conversations about recurring dreams. Then I was scared I was going to have one of my recurring dreams, but I didn't.
Well, that's good.
How long do
Yeah,
you think it'll
I
be
find
before we
dreams.
can like program our dreams?
Probably not our lifetime.
No,
No?
definitely not our lifetime.
Have you seen? Oh, what is it? Oh, it's mice. So with mice, they can tell like what they're dreaming because the way their brains work. They track. They put the things on the brain when they go through like mazes and stuff. And so it'll be like, oh, your brain does this when you turn right. It does this when you turn left, whatever. And so then when they go to sleep, they can tell that the mouse is dreaming about the specific maze that they went through because they can just track the different parts of the brain activating.
Wow.
But they'll also sometimes just create their own mazes.
I would like a pillow in between me and Henry for
Wow.
for the next time. That
Wow.
was I didn't know it was needed until Ryan brought it in, and we need it. We need it.
That was
Championship
honestly
pillow.
incredible. I can't believe it worked.
Wow.
You can't believe it worked. What do you mean? It worked.
Like he got the bunny ears in.
What was I gonna do?
You didn't see. That was the funny part.
Oh, that was a stupid part, I'd say.
Yeah.
All right.
What a day for the chat.
Anything else?
Good idea, Tyson.
That's it.
Good idea, Tyson. And Henry made his day. So
Yep.
you gotta be at least a little happy for Tyson.
No, I'm not at all.
Wow.
I'm not. I just wish, we'd all three be focusing on each other, on the lovely conversations that we're having. Instead, Ryan's reading articles. Henry's talking to the chat.
Bad day.
Ryan's watching
As is my duty.
TV about Deshaun Watson. What are we doing here, guys? I need 100% commitment from you.
Honestly, in the end, the content was good. It's
I think
really
the-
the only
It dipped.
goal.
No, it definitely
think it-
dipped. It
Wow.
dipped. Yeah. I would say
Wow.
the other good conversations we're having were better.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
will say 0 dislikes, 0 thumbs down.
Zero
so.
dislikes.
But only 55 thumbs up. That's about half of what we typically get by the time we're over
Ooh,
with the show. So
56
kind
now.
of kind of an issue. Hit us with a thumbs up on the way out. We'd love it.
See you guys.